Yeah, we've been farming, or the family's been farming here for generations around Collector, and so we've had the farm where the wind farm is for a bit over 35 years, and we also run a beekeeping business, so we're into beekeeping and sheep farming.
Well, this is a family farm. I've been running it for about the last 30 years. Prior to that, I worked in engineering in the construction industry. We're basically a wool growing enterprise, have been for as long as I can remember. So we concentrate on wool.
We have 5 landowners who own the property on which we're building the wind farm. They have been very patient. The concerns or the angst that was raised previously seems to have quietened down.
Are you concerned about the noise when it's finished?
No, I don't think so. I don't think because it's so far out, we won't be able to hear it. And if we do, I think it'd probably be like a jet in the background. But yes.
So we actually went around to quite a few wind farms before we took it on, and we were pretty satisfied that there's no,
and the sheep graze, that's what I love. You see the sheep and cattle grazing underneath, and it's not interrupting the land in any way, and they can still graze right underneath. And we, as Gary said, we went and checked all that, and you couldn't even hear the wind farms were underneath them, really.
No concerns whatsoever. We've lived with the wind towers just across the road here for the last 10 or 15 years, and quite frankly the highway makes more noise than the wind towers.
What about health?
Good for your health. Yeah, look, when that is interesting, yes. When the first, back in the early days when we were trying to, this was going through the planning process, there was a lot of talk about health and whether it was going to give you headaches or stop the chooks laying eggs or whatever. There was a fair bit of, it was almost the focus of the anti-wind farm thing. And I think since then it's actually, become, well, the fact that it's been pretty well disproven that there's nothing to worry about.
I can't see that either. I'm an engineer by trade and work with basically electricity and big motors and big machinery. All it is a generator on top of a pole. I can't see any health issues at all.
So I guess at the moment it's really people arguing about the sustainability of the of the turbines and what happens when at the end of the life they have to be pulled down and recycled, and we're pretty satisfied that all those bases have been covered.
And what does it do for the economics of farming?
It's good good economics. I mean, one of the problems with farming is banks don't like dealing with you too much because your income is so much variable. So just to have a contract, that you can say, well, we have some stable income has made a huge difference. Just looking down into the future.
Oh, it's been quite a bonus for me. The last 3 or 4 years have been drought. Spent a lot of money on feed. That money has been available through the works payments from the wind tower. So more than happy to have the income from the towers, and it'll ensure the viability of the operation for years to come. For my family and their kids.
And it's certainly allowed us to bring Bradley back onto the farm, to be able to sort of secure the next generation to come and help with us. Up until then, Bradley had to work in town, and it was whether there's ever going to be enough funding out of the money in the farming to make it work. But now, we can see the way ahead, and it's not a huge amount of money, but it's that stability that makes all the difference, I think.
Obviously, landowners is one of those things you need to manage closely. Always remember that you're a guest here. You can't just go ahead and do whatever.
Very important that we communicate very clearly and very frequently about what's happening, because all 5 of those properties are working farms running sheep and cattle, and that will continue throughout the construction, and so we will continue to manage to ensure that we don't impact on their existing farming operations, and that they have an operating wind farm and an operating farm at the end of it all.
I'm pretty lucky because the wind farm is on the eastern edge of my property, so I was able to basically fence off the paddock where the construction was going to be, and I was able to take my sheep out of that paddock and let the wind farm construction proceed basically unhindered from my point of view.
We've had to manage things a bit differently, obviously. We've had to be very aware of the machinery and a lot of people getting around. It's not something that we've been used to, having a farm and having other people around you all the time and machinery and equipment, so you've got to be aware of that. But other than that, I mean, we've just had to manage the stock a little bit so that we pulled them out of the areas when there was work, heavy work going on, just so things didn't get mixed up. I think that was a bit of don't have to, but it certainly make life easier, I think, all round if we don't have a mob of sheep sort of running through the middle of a work site.
No, our relationship with the landowner, between us and RATCH and Neil, we've spent a lot of time with our landowners to keep them engaged, to keep them happy, and to work with them. Ultimately, it's their land and we need to respect it is.
See you, Carl. See ya. Thanks, John.
No problem. They've been cooperative and listened to whatever concerns we had. As I say, the impact on my farm was fairly minimal.
And they've been great too. They've been telling us every step of the way, any questions we needed, and it's been terrific, and they're only a phone call away, and they've been really good, and it's helping the community too. That's what we love about it. The money is coming back into the community.
So having another wind farm in the area has been fantastic for local employment, particularly people from Goulburn. We engaged Divals as a civil contractor through Civilex, and we had approximately about 100 men and women working from Divals out here on the project. So keeping the money in the community has been amazing.
It's only these few engineering projects that are keeping going and keeping, there'd be a lot of people out of work if it wasn't for this project.
It's also been a fantastic economic boost for local small businesses in the area.
I appreciate the employment opportunities that some of the subcontractors have done for the staff here. We've even had girls driving dump trucks, young chaps that progress from being stop-go people to driving rollers on the construction. So that's all I like to see.
Throughout the project we have been doing a variety of bits and pieces, works in kind for the landowners, doing some roadworks, putting in extra dams, putting in ramps for improving access across their properties. It's a bit of a quid pro quo situation to ensure that their activities are not significantly impacted by our work. I think generally everybody is pretty happy with how things are.
It's provided entertainment for the family. In terms of, I've got some young grandkids that love seeing the machinery.
It's coming together, and coming together, better than you could have possibly imagined. I think the way the guys are building it. I guess we're not only proud, but we feel privileged to be part of the project. We're only a really small cog, I know, in a big machine, but to be part of the, we have to do this transition as a country, as a world actually, from coal and fossil fuels to renewable energy. You look around, I think farmers often get tagged with being very conservative and anti-climate change and that, but every wind farm that you look at is a result of a collaboration between farmers and the wind industry, and so when you look out and you see all those wind turbines and even the solar farms going in, you just sort of feel, hey, it's proving the point that there's a lot of us that are actually very concerned about climate change and really, proud to be part of the, the revolution or evolution. I'm not sure, but it's something that, we've certainly, feel, and hopefully we look back on this period in the future and say, we did it, we were part of it, and it's just great to see it all just about there.